WAOH is brought to you in part by Ohio's #1 trusted real estate team, The Young Team. Online at theyoungteam.com.
Hello everybody and welcome back to Good Morning Akron, and today I am here with an independent artist, Maddie McSweeney. How are you doing today?
Hi. Good.
Thank you so much for coming on today. I'm so excited to have you on and to talk a little bit about yourself. So I want you to give a little bit of background, tell the people kind of what you do.
Yeah, so I graduated from the University of Akron with a BA in studio art as well as a BA in media studies. And then I had a concentration in painting, printmaking, and sculpture. So within that interdisciplinary medium, I was really able to kind of explore what physical material I was interested in, but as well as develop my conceptual ideas as well. And so in my last year of school, I started moving towards installation and performance, and I made a short film as well, which wasn't very good, but I had a lot of fun making it. But yeah, so I really like exploring mediums, and that's kind of what I'm doing right now.
Yeah, so exploring mediums is obviously a really big piece of your art. I've looked online and I am just gonna say wow is the first thing that I really saw from it. I thought a lot about some different pieces and stuff when I was looking into your art, but I want to give you time to explain it yourself. So you recently did a collaboration with Akron Art Museum for their Midwest event. Could you tell me a little bit about what you had there in your art piece?
Yeah, so I did a piece called Untitled Jam, which is a working off of a series I've been working on, exploring containers and containment. So in late 2024, I did a piece for my honors thesis when I was still in school. Simply Butter, One Pat at a Time is the full name. And that kind of similarly explores food and being in a container. And one of my favorite parts of that work was being inside of the container. So if you just think of like a giant 6-foot tall butter looking object, and then people are instructed to hug or touch it, and then but they don't know I'm on the inside of it, so I'm kind of touching them back. And then that moved to me being in a container, using lipstick and kisses as the mark making, and trying to cover the whole surface over around 2.5 hours.
Wow.
And then this one I transitioned to doing a container with jam inside, where I was licking jam off the walls for the entire 3-hour duration of the show.
Now, that is not only art in itself, that's also taking you as a person and making you like work live and do the art live in front of people. I can't imagine like how many different things you're probably thinking about when you're in there and doing all of that. Could you take me a little bit into what is it like being in that sort of headspace, having all those people watch you almost while you're doing all this art live? What is that like?
Yeah, it's been really interesting. I study a lot of other performance artists who are well known, like Marina Abramovich and other artists like that, who are very well known for their endurance and durational art practice. And I'm nowhere near the level to what some people do. But it is really interesting to kind of like be in that space where I'm kind of focused on a soul function, if that makes sense. Like it almost becomes machine-like or almost animalistic, really being focused on that and having to be hyper present in my body, and then also bringing the observer to a very present observant state, and kind of like what that relationship between me and them and like them with each other becomes with that shared experience.
Right. And it's not like a certain amount of minutes that you're doing this. I mean, it's basically 3 hours is what people watched you. I think the last duration was. So that is just mind-blowing that you're doing that for so long. And you talked about how you take a lot of inspiration from people. I wanted to touch on that a little bit. I've saw your work and I've thought a little bit about some different pieces, specifically one that went pretty viral online, Can't Help Myself. Have you ever heard of that? It's with the big machinery arm and it's moving the red liquid over and over and over again. But like I said, you're a real person doing this in real time, whereas they kind of make a machine to do this art for them. So where's your inspiration coming from when you're trying to do these things?
It's funny. I know that piece well, but for some reason that wasn't one that automatically jumped out to me with this piece, but that connection totally makes sense.
Yeah.
But with this particular piece and it being the Midwinter festival, I wanted the connection to be about like Akron performance. So I thought about he's kind of like the father of happenings, which is like an art term for things that just kind of occur.
Right.
And Al Capro, he did a piece where he had his students licking jam off of a car. And I've always really loved that piece when studying art history. And then also our connection to Smuckers, which I did use Smuckers, not sponsored though, not sponsored, but I just had to, considering the Akron connection.
Right.
But yeah, that was kind of my inspiration for Akron itself. But then actual jam, like I'm interested in foods that relate to the body. And as far as I know, we all have bodies and we all have to eat unless like AI has advanced miraculously. I don't know about it.
Right.
But that's kind of like the starting point I start at to make the connection with people.
Right.
And kind of just taking them on this journey where I am activating simple forms in order to reach a deeper level of connection and a deeper level of empathy with people. Because during my college practice, it was through COVID, and that really dramatically changed the way I looked at the world and I looked at art, because I couldn't physically be around people. And that really informed how I make, and me being interested in making connections with people and me bridging the gap between people by crossing emotional and sometimes physical boundaries.
Right,
yeah.
Right. And so besides Akron's Midwinter event that you just did, I saw that you've done some things previously. Do you have anything in the works or anything that you're thinking about for future?
Yeah, so actually this March 13th, 5 to 7:30, I'll be having a part 2 to this work at Akron Soul Train in downtown Akron. So that will be a solo show, and there are smaller galleries in the back where I'll be rebuilding the container I had in the space. I won't be performing, but it'll be more focused on the installation of it. And I'll be making an installation in there where people can consume jam from the inside of the container and kind of have the opposite dual experience of like what we had at Akron Art Museum.
Right.
They get to experience that on the inside.
Right. That's awesome. So now they'll be watching you. Hopefully they came and they watched you before, and now they can actually experience being inside. That's so exciting. And if anyone is looking to get more of your art, to find you, if they just want to know more about you, where can they find you online?
Right now, the best place would be Instagram. I post a lot on there. McSweeney Makes is my handle. And people can email me. If you find my email, you can email me or contact me anywhere else. Yeah.
All right. Well, thank you so much for coming on today. I really appreciate it. Yeah. And thank you everybody for watching back home. You know, we really appreciate it. Again, that was Maddie McSweeney. Make sure you go and check her out. And thank you so much for tuning in. We'll see you right after this.